Yes, so we are back. We are back for a new session. In the previous session, I think we discussed question number 1, 2, and 3 of May 19 RTP, and now we'll be starting with question number 4 of the RTP of May 19, and question number 4 is based on the chapter and concept of activity based costing, ABC. Now we have done a question of ABC in which I have given a small intro of what the chapter is. So we'll quickly start with the chapter. I'll have a small intro of what ABC is. ABC is nothing but a modern system of cost allocation of my fixed overheads, where factory overheads or fixed overheads are allocated basis cost drivers and their respective rates of cost drivers. Whichever product uses higher or lower cost driver, I will allocate cost on the basis of that. So there will be activity cost. Activity cost will have cost drivers, and every cost driver will have a cost driver rate, which is to be given to respective products depending on how much of a product has used which activity, and more of the cost driver used, I'll allocate more cost, and vice versa. Barabar? This system is better and accurate as compared to absorption costing, because absorption costing only allocates the overheads basis my machine hours or labor hours, whereas this will base or allocate the overheads depending on the activities. So company ke total overheads will be split as per activities, and from activities I'll get the cost driver rates, and through rates I will allocate it to respective products depending on the cost driver usage. बराबर ठीक है. It's a very simple question. We'll directly start from question number 4. I'm not explaining the chapter much more because we have done this before and a small intro has been given in the previous sum. ठीक है. So we will start with question number 4. काफी simple question है. It will be done very quickly. काफी important, I mean काफी easy question है. Not something which will be important to revise on the last date. अपना ये काफी simple है. So let's start. Question 4, some company has given the following data for 2 activities. It computes activity cost driver rates based on the cost driver capacity. Very simple. So power is one activity, the cost is 40 lakhs and the capacity is 50 lakh kilowatt, and quality inspection is 60 lakhs and the number of inspection is 10,000, which means quality inspections are driven by inspections and my power is driven by kilowatts. That is normal. The company makes 3 products M, S and T. ठीक है. For the year ending 31st March 09, the following consumption of cost drivers was reported. So every product ने कौन सा या कितना cost driver use किया है, that is given. So depending on the cost driver rates and depending on the cost driver usage, I will allocate the cost to respective products. Here kilowatts is M ने इतना किया है, S ने इतना and T ने इतना, and inspections M का इतना, S का इतना, T का इतना. So can I say they have given the activities? I would say yes. Have they given the activity ke costs? I would say yes. Have they given the activity ke cost drivers? I would say yes. Have they given the cost driver ke numbers? I would say yes. 50k and 10,000. So depending on this, I'll get the cost driver rates, and once I get the cost driver rates, I will need the cost driver usage. Have the question given the cost driver usage? I would say yes and yes. It's all a question of getting the cost driver rates and simply using those rates along with the cost driver usage to get my respective cost. Only important thing here is the fact that look at the kilowatts. Can I say kilowatts are 50,000? The answer is yes. Total all the kilowatts 10,000 plus 20 and that is 30, and 30 and 15 appears to be 45,000. Similarly, compute inspections. Can I say it is 10,000? The answer is yes. But total करेंगे inspection को 3.5 plus 2.5 is 6,000 and 6 and 3 is 9,000. So can I say out of 10,000 inspections, 9,000 are towards M, S and T, and out of 50,000 kilowatts, 45,000 are towards M, S and T, which means there are certain inspections के ऊपर नहीं हुआ है, so वो अपना cost waste हो गया है, and there are certain kilowatts which have been incurred लेकिन वो allocate नहीं करना है. That is nothing but unused capacity. That is nothing but part 3 of the question. So let's read required part. Compute cost allocation, जो काफी simple है. Compute the unused capacity cost. Okay, ये part 2 में आ चुका है अपना. Whatever capacity or hours were unused, whatever inspections are unused, that into my respective cost driver rates will be the unused capacity of each. And then state the factors the company considers in choosing a capacity level to compute the overhead rate. That is nothing but a theory question. Once we do part 1, once we do part 2, then we'll simply read across part number 3. So काफी simple question है. Do not invest time on this question on the last day, because we just have to allocate the cost and multiply into respective respective cost drivers, and whatever is the cost drivers जो products की तरफ allocated नहीं है, that is my unused capacity cost, and well, that's it. बराबर. So without any working notes, I can directly discuss solution. So as discussed, what is my cost driver rates? This 40 lakhs is given to us, this 50,000 watts is given to us, and I will get the cost driver rate. Similarly, 60 lakhs is given to us, 10,000 inspection is given to us, and I will get the rate per inspection. This cost driver rates into my respective cost drivers. So 80k into 10,000, 80k into 20, and 80k into 15 is towards M, S and T respectively. Similarly, 600 into 3,500, 1 minute, into 3,500, 600 into 2,500, and 600 into 3,000, I will get my inspection cost as well. Barabar? ठीक है. Now tell me, what was the total cost of power? Can I say total cost of power was 40 lakhs? ये वाला फिगर. Yes, out of 40 lakhs, M, S and T में कितना allocate हुआ है? Can I say total 36 lakhs? Yes. So 40 lakhs incurred, 36 lakhs was allocated depending on the kilowatts. The unused capacity is the balancing figure of 4 lakhs. Similarly, what is total inspections? 60 lakhs. 60 में से allocate कितना किया है? Allocate किया है 54, which means the balancing cap of 6 is my unused capacity. This answer can also be got using the unused hours and unused kilowatts and into my cost driver rates. Answer यही आएगा, and this is my unused capacity cost. And ऊपर का table, this one is my respective allocations to respective products depending on the cost driver usage, that is number of inspections and number of that those kilowatt hours. ठीक है, काफी सिंपल क्वेश्चन है. एंड पार्ट 3 इज नथिंग बट अ थ्योरी क्वेश्चन. द फैक्टर्स इन चूजिंग अ कैपेसिटी. सो व्हाट आर द फैक्टर्स that are likely to be impacted if my capacity is right or wrong? I would say कॉस्टिंग में फर्क पड़ता है. कॉस्टिंग के हिसाब से my decision making could be impacted. Obviously performance evaluation, because the variances will depend on that, and the variances will obviously depend on what my forecasts are. So इसके ऊपर भी उसका impact आएगा. On the profits it may be impacted, the regulatory requirements and the forecasting level. So all these are factors which I need to consider before I set my capacity level, because these are where the impacts are also going if at all I have different absorption rates or different cost driver के rates. ठीक है, काफ़ी सिंपल क्वेश्चन है. लेट्स नॉट इन्वेस्ट मच टाइम हियर because we have done more difficult questions compared to these where we had to ourselves find maybe the activity cost or their cost drivers. यहाँ पे तुमका कॉस्ट भी दिया है, कॉस्ट ड्राइवर्स भी दिया है, टोटल भी दिया है, एलोकेशंस भी दिया है. सो इट्स क्वाइट अ सिंपल क्वेश्चन. सो दैट इज डन. क्वेश्चन नंबर 4 ऑफ MTP May 19 इज डन. काफ़ी सिंपल क्वेश्चन. लेट्स नॉट वेस्ट टाइम हियर. So 4th is done. Moving on, we will now go to question number 5. This question is on cost sheet. Now again, cost sheet has been discussed n number of times. I'll quickly discuss the format and then we can start. ठीक है, DM DL is a prime cost. DM is opening plus purchase minus closing, because I want DM consume. Prime cost के बाद add the factory overheads, variable or fixed. Fixed will be absorb. I'll get the gross factory cost. Add opening closing WIP. I'll get the net factory cost or normal factory cost, to which I will add admin costs which are production based. I will subtract the sale of scrap. I will add R&D cost. I will add the cost of packing. I'll add the cost of your inspection, quality inspection. All these things I'll add as per new format. I'll get the COP. Add this. I'll value my opening closing stock of finished goods. Then I'll add the admin cost general. Then I'll add the S&D cost general. I'll get cost of sales. From cost of sales, compare my sales. I'll get balancing figure of profit. This was my cost sheet ka format, and based on this cost sheet ka format, I am going to solve question number 5. Okay, important thing, before I start any cost sheet, I require 3 things. One is the goods produced, because it is a production quantity for which I prepare a cost sheet. I need to also note the quantity sold, because I am going to compare cost of sales with sales. I will require sales as well. And I also need to know the absorption rate and the absorption method, because my FOH is absorbed and absorbed will come from absorption rate. So these 3 things I will need to find before I start my cost sheet. ठीक है, and well, that is it. And based on the basics of cost sheet, we have question number 5. काफ़ी easy question है, nothing interesting or new, just the format that needs to be known. ठीक है, so without wasting much time, let us start. Question number 5 based on cost sheet May 19 RTP. Let's start, guys. चलो, question 5. Following information is of a manufacturing concern for the year 31st March 19. So अपना year of concern is 31st March 19. ठीक है. RM opening is given, RM closing is given. ठीक है. I have got purchase of RM. ठीक है. I've got freight inwards. Freight inwards is nothing but direct cost. It will come during my prime cost के पहले only because freight is paid for purchases. Then I've got wages paid, again a part of prime cost. Wages outstanding, I'll add outstanding wages to normal wages to get total wages cost. Factory overheads is by absorption, that's normal. Opening closing WIP, that is normal. Admin cost based on production, so I'll add this before COP. Then I got my S&D, finished stock opening, 1217, sale of scrap of materials. Okay, here the data is clear. Sale of scrap of materials. Okay, interesting. Normally, as per new format, the sale of scrap is to be taken as net from the admin cost, which are production based. As per the format, I add the admin cost production based and less scale your sale of scrap. यहाँ पे since the sale of scrap is mentioned to be of materials, the word used or the word focused is of materials, so that is the main reason why I will adjust sale of scrap of materials with the materials consumed. That is my first point of cost sheet, that is RMC, raw material consumed. मैं RMC के अंदर ही इसको adjust करूँगा and I will not wait till COP का adjustment, because had it simply been mentioned sale of scrap, then in that case I will add my admin cost production based and subtract sale of scrap and show net in the outer column. But here if it is mentioned sale of scrap of materials, then I have to adjust this amount from the RM consumed, and this is the only point new or unique in the entire question, that ICI adjusts the sale of scrap of materials. If the word materials is given, sale of scrap of materials is to be adjusted when I compute my raw material consumed. That's my cost sheet's first point. ठीक है, that is something new, not new, but this is something that पहले कभी आया नहीं था. The question normally mentions sale of scrap, so normally we subtract sale of scrap from admin cost production based. Only case अगर sale of scrap material बोल दिया है तो adjust it from raw materials consumed. ठीक है. RM opening closing is normal, purchase is normal, freight भी मैं purchase of materials में add कर दूंगा. So my RMC is going to be opening stock of RM plus purchases plus freight minus scrap and minus closing stock, and this entire thing is going to be my raw materials consumed, and this is the only important thing in the entire question. All other details are directly given to us. It is just a question of inputting numbers, and the question has given the goods produced are 14,000 and opening stock is given and firm sold. Sales भी अपने को दिया है, sales पता है, opening पता है and production पता है. I will get the balancing figure as my closing stock, and my sale price is also given, and well, all inputs are given. It is just a question of inputting correct things as per the correct cost sheet format, and raw materials is the only important thing in the entire question. ठीक है, so let us see what the ICA has done. Nothing is to be found out here. Absorption rate finding की ज़रूरत नहीं है because they have themselves given 20% of this. अपना ये figure किधर गया? 20% absorption I had read somewhere. कहाँ गया अपना FOH? हाँ, 20% of prime cost. If it is given, then there is no need to find it separately. Cost sheet के time अलग से अपन cost sheet के अंदर ही adjust कर लेंगे इसको. ठीक है, so let us go to the format of cost sheet. Very simple, as I said. RM purchased, add freight, add opening of RM, less closing and less sale of scrap. This entire thing is to be memorized as important from this question. What we normally do is we first start from opening stock of RM, then we add the materials purchased, then we add the freight, then we will less the sale of scrap, then we'll less the materials, and ultimately I will get this figure of material consumed. Well, this is the only important thing that can be gone through before the exam in the entire question, not the entire question, because all other things are pure inputs. ठीक है, let's proceed. Wages, what they have done is wages paid plus wages outstanding. We always prepare any accounts or cost sheet as per my accrual concept. Any wages outstanding, although not paid, will enter a cost sheet because my job is to find total cost, not just the cost of expenses paid. ठीक है, प्राइम कॉस्ट मिल गया अपने को. वंस आई गेट द प्राइम कॉस्ट, इसका 20% आई विल एब्जॉर्ब, आई विल गेट माई FOH. Opening closing WIP is to be adjusted to get my factory cost. Once I get my factory cost, I'll add my admin cost because these are production based, because given to us in the question. I'll add production based. Once I add the my admin cost production based, I get the COP. From COP I will add opening stock of my FG. Is the opening stock of my FG given to us? ये वाला 608,500. So 608,500 will come here as opening directly given to us. Now ठीक है, then closing stock. Now if 70 lakhs is the cost of the goods produced, what is the cost of closing stock quantity? My closing stock quantity is nothing but opening, that is this figure, किधर गया, 1217 plus 14,000 sales and minus 14 is produced. So opening is 1217 plus production minus my sales. This 1064 is going to be my closing quantity of closing stock. So if 70 lakh pertains to 14,000, 70 lakh pertains to 14,000, how much will pertain to 1064? And this is how I will get my closing stock value. इसमें भी कुछ नया नहीं है. We have always done this. Always divide the COP with the goods produced, and that will give me CPU, and that CPU will be into my closing stock quantity. I'll get the valuation of closing stock. In this question, CS was not given, so opening 1217 plus production 14,000 minus sales 153, I'll get closing stock, and use this closing stock quantity, use the CPU, and I will get the CS valuation, and that is nothing but 532,000. And after doing this, I will get the cost of goods sold. Once I get the cost of goods sold, simply add the distri expenses 220, and okay, distribution is not given in terms of rupees, it is given in terms of 16 per unit, ये वाला. So obviously if it is 16 per unit, I'll multiply 16 not with the goods produced but with the goods sold, because their distribution expenses, S&D expenses are always on the goods sold. So 14,153 into 16, I will get the S&D expenses, and once I get S&D, 1 minute, once I get the S&D, I'll get the cost of sales. Compare cost of sales with sales. Sales कहाँ से आया? 618 SP is given and volume is given. Balancing figure will represent the profit, and this is what the question had asked us to find out, and well, we have found the profit. So ये क्वेश्चन में a couple of things important. First important thing, अगर लिखना तो लिख सकते हो. First important thing is the fact that sale of material का scrap, तो scrap of DM I will adjust from the raw material consumed. ये अपना हो गया एक. एंड दूसरा क्या था अपना इंपॉर्टेंट इस सब में? वेजेस, ओपनिंग, क्लोजिंग नॉर्मल था, एंड बाकी सब नॉर्मल ही है अपना. एंड माय क्लोजिंग स्टॉक, अगर क्लोजिंग स्टॉक नहीं पता है, सो इट्स ओपनिंग स्टॉक प्लस प्रोड्यूस्ड, ओपनिंग स्टॉक plus production minus my sale, and this is how I will get my closing stock. All other things are pretty easy. Wages, materials consumed, scrap, sales, balancing figure. ठीक है. And अगर लिखना है तो लिख सकते हो that S&D के लिए the quantity sold should be used. So I will not use S&D per unit into goods produced, but I will use the goods sold because it's a sales based expense. Use the sale quantity. ठीक है. One more question gone, that is question number 5. So 4 is gone in this session. 5 is also gone pretty quickly because 4 was simple, 5 was also simple. The only important thing in this question was the computation of raw materials consumed, on which we have given a note as well, that sale of scrap of material to be adjusted from RM. अगर sale of scrap बोला है, then we could have adjusted from here, add admin cost production based and less sale of scrap. But अगर material बोला है तो adjust from raw materials consumed. Sorted. Hopefully, yes. One more question gone, and now we are going to jump to question number 6, which is based on non-integral accounts. Okay, so ये अपन ने एक खासा इसका भी कर दिया है अपन ने. यहाँ पे they haven't asked the entire costing system, but we have been asked the reconciliation, which has also been done. Which has also been done. 1 minute. मेरा वो कहाँ चला गया? So I think we have done 2 questions from this chapter. एक तो अपन ने proper we have made the stores ledger control, we have made the WIP, we have made the FG, then we have made the manufacturing overheads, we have done the factory overheads, we have done the admin overheads ledger, then we have done the COGS, COS and sales ledger, costing P&L ledger, then we have the sales ledger and the GLA. So we have done the entire accounting system, and one summary we have done the reconciliation. I think this question is based on reconciliation. I can read this here. So in reconciliation, we are going to get different profits as per costing records and different profits as per financial records, and we are only reconciling as per my or like the way I used to reconcile my passbook to bank book and bank book and cash book to passbook and passbook to bank book. So all we do is start from the costing records and go towards the financial records, or start from the financial records and go towards the profits as per cost records, depending on where we are going. So if we are going from a lower profit to a higher profit, I will do add. If I am going from a higher profit to a lower profit, I will do less, and all this higher or lower is because of an adjustment. Do not compare the absolute profits. एक adjustment की वजह से, if the costing profits are higher and if I am going towards the costing profits, I will do add. एक adjustment की वजह से, if the financial profits are less, I am going towards financial profits, I will do less. ठीक है? Based on this, we are now doing question number 6. Alright, चालू करेंगे. So all concepts will be revised here. That is basics of cost sheet preparation and also reconciliation. So once I prepare the cost sheet, I'll then reconcile. So both concepts will be sorted. Okay, all set. Hopefully yes. Let us start. Question number 6, please, on May 19's RTP. Let's start. The following is the summarized trading and profit loss account of expenses for the year ended. So we have been given the profit loss for the entire year. ठीक है. So DM, wages, overheads, admin, S&D. ये side पे you have sales, you have FG का stock. Then you have work in progress, and they have given WIP ka split as well. So I can say total work in progress is 54,000, and 54,000 is made up of 34,000 DM, 16,000 wages and 4,000 work overhead. Sabka mila ke mean 34 plus 16 is 50, 50 plus 4 is 54. So they have given the WIP value, and they have also given the DM, DL and overheads content of the WIP. ठीक है, okay. So details. The company's cost records show. Okay, now we are talking of cost records. So company's cost records. 1 minute. Now the company's cost records show that in course of manufacturing a standard unit, work overhead has been charged as 20% of the prime cost. So my absorption rate is 20% of the prime cost. Works cost eventually means factory overheads. So factory overheads, okay, ये जो अपना factory overheads है, ये वाला for 26,000, this is sitting in the financial statements, means these are my actuals. My cost sheet always has absorbed overheads, and the absorption rate is 20% of prime cost, which means there could be a difference in the two, and this will be a part of reconciliation. ठीक है. Then admin overheads are linked with the production. ठीक है. So they have themselves mentioned the fact that admin costs are production based. अरे वापस वही हो गया. 1 minute. Admin costs are production based. ठीक है. And they are recovered at 5 per finished unit. So whatever is my FG production, that into 5 is my admin overheads, and the same admin overheads are 1,50,000 in the financial records, which means if there is a difference, this will also be a part of reconciliation. ठीक है. And S&D overheads are recovered at 6 per unit. This will come in my cost sheet, and this is my actuals. Difference in the two will be a part of reconciliation. ठीक है. करना क्या है? Prepare a costing profit loss account. Okay. Now here the question has mentioned prepare a costing profit and loss account. Frankly, generally the question always asks us to find the profits basis costing. That means we can prepare a cost sheet. Frankly, I would say you can prepare a cost sheet and find the profits as per cost sheet. तुमको कुछ wrong नहीं मिलेगा. लेकिन यहाँ पे अगर तुमको स्पेसिफिकली मेंशन किया है प्रिपेयर कॉस्टिंग प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट, then maybe the ICI is expecting you to make a account, but I mean use the same format, ये वाला use the same format like an account, but the input should be as per costing principles. So I'll prepare a trading profit loss account as per the financial statements format, but the inputs are going to be as per the costing records. So this is how I prepare a costing profit loss account. Nonetheless, I personally don't think कि if you prepare a cost sheet and find the profits, you'll be given wrong, because the objective is to find the profits. You either make a cost sheet and find the costing records का profit, or you make a costing profit loss account and make find the profit. मेरे हिसाब से wrong नहीं मिलना चाहिए, लेकिन the ICA has prepared, as you can see the solution, the ICA has prepared cost sheet in this format, T format, बराबर. So that is mainly because the word costing profit loss account is mentioned. So I would recommend चांस मत लो. अगर कॉस्टिंग प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट पूछा है, देन यू मेक अ कॉस्ट शीट बट ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ टी फॉर्मेट, नथिंग बट अ नॉर्मल ट्रेडिंग प्रॉफिट लॉस अकाउंट, जस्ट दैट ओवरहेड्स विल बी एब्जॉर्ब्ड, एडमिन विल बी एब्जॉर्ब्ड एंड नॉट एक्चुअल्स. वेल दैट्स इट. ठीक है, बट स्टिल आई डोंट फील रॉन्ग मिलना चाहिए. द ICI वोंट बी सो हार्श कि जस्ट बिकॉज आई हैव मेड अ कॉस्ट शीट फॉर्मेट एंड फाउंड द करेक्ट प्रॉफिट्स, तुमको मार्क्स नहीं मिलेंगे बिकॉज अकाउंट नहीं बना है. So I don't think so, but still I would recommend you prefer to make an account if account is asked. ठीक है, so let us make costing profit loss account. So as I said, if details are not given, then I'll take the same materials and wages consumed as there in the financial records. So materials is अपना 1416, एक minute, 1416, and a labor is 742. So 1416 and 742, this is how I get my prime cost. Coming to works overheads, it was 20% of prime cost, so 2158,000 ka 20% appears to be this. After I add this, I get my gross factory cost. After this, I adjust my opening WIP, I less my closing WIP as well. Do I have opening closing WIP? Opening है नहीं, तो closing यहीं से मिलेगा. So I'm assuming that the closing WIP is the same in costing and in financial records. So I will take the same figure of 54,000 and I will get the factory cost. As you can see, the same principles are used as we normally make a cost sheet, just that the format is different. फॉर्मेट कैसा भी हो, आंसर वही मिलने वाला है अपने को. ठीक है, एडमिन कॉस्ट, डू नॉट यूज द फिगर ऑफ दिस 150 because 150 is the actuals. As per costing records, the admin costs are 5 rupees per unit. So number of goods produced, that is nothing but have the data given regarding goods production? नहीं. So what is my sales? I can see that my sales are 30,000, ये वाला, and my stock of goods is 2,000 closing. So can I say sales plus closing stock minus opening stock is equal to production? The answer is yes. In the absence of opening stock, sales plus closing stock, that is 30k sales plus 2000 closing, 32,000 appears to be my production, and this is how I get my production. And 32,000 into rupees 5 is going to be the admin content in the cost sheet, and that's exactly what the ICA has done. 32,000 goods produced into rupees 5, I get my admin costs, which are production based. After this, I get my COP. So what I'll do is this COP of 26,95,000, this is for goods produced. How much is for my closing stock? So have they given the maths? I don't think so. Let's do a small maths. 26,95,600 is for goods produced 32,000. How much will be for closing stock? That is 2,000, and this is how I will get the closing stock. Calci पे कर लो, आंसर ये मिलना चाहिए, and this is how I get my cost of goods sold. Once I get my cost of goods sold, I add my S&D. Do not add this figure because this is as per the my financial records. As per costing, it is this 6 rupees per unit sold. So 30,000 into 6 appears to be 1,80,000, which I can see here, and the maths is here, and that's my cost of sales. Compare the cost of sales with the amount of sales, and the balancing figure is going to be my profit, and this profit is as per costing records, बराबर. So as we can see, we have prepared the cost sheet, बट हमें सिर्फ सेल्स ए साइड लिया है एंड कॉस्ट यहाँ पे लिया है ताकि वो अकाउंट की तरह लगे, एंड दिस मे बी बिकॉज द क्वेश्चन हैज स्पेसिफिकली आस्क्ड मेक अ कॉस्टिंग P&L अकाउंट. ठीक है, हैड यू मेड अ कॉस्ट शीट तो भी तुमको 292 ही मिलता, बराबर. सो अपना फर्स्ट पार्ट हो चुका है, दैट वी हैव फाउंड द प्रॉफिट्स एज पर कॉस्ट रिकॉर्ड्स. एंड फ्रैंकली इवन इफ द क्वेश्चन हैड नॉट आस्क्ड अस टू प्रिपेयर दिस, अपने को ये प्रिपेयर करना ही पड़ता, बिकॉज माई जॉब इज टू रिकनसाइल द प्रॉफिट्स एंड द प्रॉफिट्स हैव टू बी रिकनसाइल्ड इफ वी नो देम. सो फर्स्ट वर्किंग नोट हैड टू बी प्रॉफिट्स एज पर कॉस्टिंग रिकॉर्ड्स एंड देन द रिको वुड स्टार्ट. सो दिस टेबल और दिस स्टेटमेंट वुड एनीवे कम irrespective of they asking us or not. Done. एक पार्ट हो चुका है. Now comes the challenging part of reconciliation. As I said, I can start from anywhere and go to anywhere. Has the question asked anything? Prepare a reconciliation between profit disclosed by cost and finance. So I can start from anywhere. The ICI has started from the cost records. Profit as per cost records is 292. This figure is obviously coming from here as we have found out. बराबर. And now we compare the cost as per costing, we compare the cost as per finance. The difference in the two is excess or less as the case is, and add less will depend on where we are going. ठीक है. So since we are starting from the cost records, we are going towards the financial records, and financial records showed a profit of this. किधर गया 322,500. So we are starting from 292 and reaching 322, and on the way we will be simply reconciling the difference between the cost expenses and the financial expenses. ठीक है. सो लेट्स गो स्टेप बाय स्टेप. देखो डीएम एंड डीएल तो अपन ने सेम यूज किया हुआ है, तो उसमें कोई टेंशन नहीं है. ठीक है, आगे बढ़ेंगे. वर्क्स ओवरहेड्स, आई कैन सी वर्क्स ओवरहेड्स इज 426 एज पर फाइनेंस and the expense is 431, ये वाला 431 as per cost. So can I say the expense is more in cost? Yes. If the expense is more in cost, that means the profit is less in cost. If the profit is less in cost, that means this amount is less. That we are going from less to more, so I should add. So I will add 431 and 426 का difference, that is nothing but addition. ठीक है. Similarly, what is my admin cost as per finance? Can I say 1,50,000? Yes. What is my admin cost as per cost sheet? Can I say 160? So 160 is here, 150 is there, which means the expense is more in cost by 10,000. Expense is more in cost, which means the profits is less in cost. If the profit is less in cost, that means it is more in FA. More in FA, which means we are going from less to more. I will again add the difference between 160 and 150. That is add admin expenses. Similarly, S&D I can see 165 in finance and S&D is 180. This figure in cost. Again, it is more expense in cost, which means the profits are less in cost. That means we are starting from cost. That means the lesser profits is my starting point. We are going from less to more. I'll again add the S&D का difference as well. 180 minus 165. देन और तुम्हारा क्या है, और तुम्हारा क्या आएगा? वर्क ओवरहेड, सेल्स, स्टॉक वैल्यूएशन. कैन आई से माई स्टॉक वैल्यूएशन इज 167 एज पर फाइनेंस. 167. व्हाट इज माई स्टॉक वैल्यू एज पर कॉस्ट? कैन आई से स्टॉक वैल्यू एज पर कॉस्ट इज किधर गया 168. So 168 as per cost and 167 as per FA. Higher the closing stock, higher the profits. So if the stock is more in cost, that means the profits are more in cost. If profits are more in cost, that means this amount of 292 is more. So you're going from more to less. So I will less the difference. That is this amount of 168 minus 167, and this will lead to my reconciled amount of the profits as per financial records. If there are certain expenses or income in the financial records, वो भी adjustment में आएगा. Example could be bad debts, interest, जो अपने cost sheet में नहीं है. But I do not see any expenses in the financial records which are only in the financial records and not in the cost sheet. One more example could be rent received or interest received. ये income है जो बैठता है सिर्फ financial records में. So this I'll need to reconcile depending on add or less, वो तो मालूम पड़ ही जाएगा. And these will also be a part of RICO. So don't just compare amount here and amount there. Also compare what things are in the finance but not in the costing and vice versa. ठीक है, and that is how I reconcile. So my part 1 is also done, that is costing profits, and part 2 is also reconciliation. The only important thing in this question, अगर तुमको रिवाइज करना होगा तो, is the fact that when costing P&L account is asked, it is preferred it is preferred you prepare the cost sheet but in the T format, that is sales यहाँ पे ले लो, cost यहाँ पे ले लो, opening stock यहाँ ले लो, closing stock यहाँ ले लो, and I will get the balancing figure as profits and the format will be costing profit loss account. अगर तुमको सिर्फ पूछा गया है find the profits as per cost, then तुम बिंदास cost sheet prepare करो and get the profits as per the cost sheet. Simple. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 is also gone. What is there in question number 7? एक काम करते हैं अपन question number 7 भी कर लेते and then एक break ले लेते. ठीक है. So 1 2 3 is done in the previous video. 4 5 6 is done in this session and I'm also doing question number 7 before I take a break. ठीक है. So चला. I hope the Josh is still there. है कि नहीं? Hopefully yes. चला, let us start. Contract costing question number 7 is what we are doing. Contract costing, okay. इसके ऊपर भी अपन ने क्वेश्चन किया है. In this chapter, my objective is to make a contract account to find the cost, to find the contract profits. Contract goes into 2 or 3 years. I can't wait for 2-3 years to book the profits, so I find something called as notional profits. Why notional? अगर मेरा बिल्डिंग 10 फ्लोर्स का है, अगर मैंने 4 फ्लोर्स ही रेडी किया है, so 4 फ्लोर्स का बिल्डिंग is assumed to be a finished product. Sales is assumed to be proportionate, and that is why if sales are proportionate assumed, I will get assumed profit, and notional profit is assumed profit. My job is to find the profit if 4 floors was a finished product. I make contract account. Just a quick format of how the contract account looks like. अपना contract account है. Here I'll have direct material towards the contract. I will have labor towards the contract. I'll have overheads specifically for the contract. I may have some common overheads absorbed towards this contract. I will have work in progress. उसके अंदर work certified at contract price, and I will have work uncertified at cost. I will have direct materials at site. This is unconsumed. I can knock it off from DM as well, and I may have expenses like depreciation, where I will have to take only that on that machine जो इस contract में use हुआ है, and the period will be exactly 4 months 5 months depending on कितना months इसमें हुआ है. And this profit that we get is something called as notional because profit cannot come before sales and sales has not happened. We are assuming कि अगर सेल होता तो इतना पैसा मिलता. ये अपना कॉस्ट इनकर्ड है, ये अपना समथिंग लाइक क्लोजिंग स्टॉक है, दैट इज वर्क डन एंड नॉट सर्टिफाइड. व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय सर्टिफिकेशन? अ सर्वेयर कम्स एंड ही टेल्स 40% रेडी है, 30% रेडी है. इफ वी हैव बिल्ड 4 फ्लोर्स बट ही हैज सर्टिफाइड ओनली 3 फ्लोर्स, द 4th फ्लोर वर्क डन एंड नॉट सर्टिफाइड इज वर्क अनसर्टिफाइड. दिस इज मोर लाइक क्लोजिंग स्टॉक. दिस इज अनकंज्यूम materials and I will get notional profit, and well, that's it. ओल्ड सिलेबस में वी हैड टू स्प्लिट दिस इन PNL एंड PFC, बट वो तुमको अभी नहीं करना है बिकॉज नॉट अ पार्ट ऑफ न्यू सिलेबस. दैट मेक्स द चैप्टर वेरी सिंपल. ठीक है. बेस्ड ऑन दिस वी आर गोइंग टू जंप टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 7. ऑल सेट? चालू करेंगे? लेट अस स्टार्ट प्लीज. क्वेश्चन नंबर 7, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कॉस्टिंग, एंड देन वील टेक अ स्मॉल ब्रेक. ठीक है, लेट स्टार्ट. Contract costing. Dream house is engaged in building 2 residential housing projects. Very good. Particulars are as follows. Work in progress opening. Okay, so here क्या है अपना 2 projects है. I can see HP1 and HP2. Don't make the contract account twice, just make it columnar because all inputs are same. जिस तरह से they have given me details in 2 columns, I'll prepare a contract account columnar. So don't prepare contract account for HP1 separately and HP2 separately. Details are given to us. It is just a question of inputting numbers and getting notional profits. ठीक है. वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस ओपनिंग इज 7,80,000 एंड 2,80,000. ये अपना दिया है ओपनिंग WIP. माय कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अकाउंट इज गोइंग टू स्टार्ट फ्रॉम ओपनिंग WIP बिकॉज ये अपना लास्ट ईयर का क्लोजिंग होगा. जस्ट ब्रिंग द ओपनिंग WIP डाउन इन द करंट ईयर. ठीक है. I've got materials purchased 620 and 810. I've got land purchased near the site to open what? To open an office. ये अभी अपन ने एक लैंड परचेज किया है, बट हैव आई परचेज दिस लैंड फॉर द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट? No. Have I purchased this land for something linked to contract? Yes. But is it contract cost? I would say no, because this is something which is office based. बराबर. ऑफिस का खर्चा अपने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कॉस्टिंग में नहीं आता है. This goes to costing PNL because ओके, ईदर द क्वेश्चन शुड टेल मी इसमें से कौन सा पार्ट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट को जाएगा एज पर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, आई मीन एज पर द कंपनी पॉलिसी, बट द एंटायर लैंड कॉस्ट और इज डेप्रिसिएशन और एलोकेटेड कॉस्ट कैन नेवर गो टू कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अकाउंट. लैंड एनी वे कैन नॉट बी डेप्रिशिएटेड, सो तुम्हारा लैंड का कॉस्ट विल नेवर गो टू कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अकाउंट बिकॉज लैंड इज फॉर द ऑफिस. So it's an office admin expense, never comes in the contract account. So 12 lakh will not come. ये अपन ध्यान में रखते. Similarly, brokerage paid on the above land, this will also not come because again if land is purchased for office, any linked expenses for that land will not come in the contract का ledger. ठीक है, wages paid is 85,062, outstanding is 12 and 84, that means 85 plus 12 for HP1 and 62 plus 8 for HP2 because I always have paid plus outstanding. Donation paid to local clubs, now this is something which is a little controversial. If it is paid to local clubs or and I can associate this expense directly with the contract, then yes, will come to contract account. अगर ये general assume करेंगे, so it will not come to contract, it will go to my admin. ICI has taken this to contract accounts and assume that this donation is purely for the respective contract. We can assume otherwise also, but that's okay. Plant hire charges 72 and 57, ठीक है. Materials at site, ये अपना closing materials and unconsumed materials, either less it from the material का cost या फिर show on the contract का credit side as stock of materials. Contract price 48 and 36, frankly contract price never comes in the contract का ledger. Contract price into percentage completion can come in the ledger, but that is depending on the completion percentage. Work certified 2050 and 1610, I'll assume work certified is at the contract price, and work not certified 190 and 140, I'll assume that this is already at cost because work not certified always comes at cost. ठीक है. Concrete mixer was bought on April 18 for 820, ठीक है, and used for 180 days in HP1 and 100 days for HP2. So depending on कौन सा asset, कौन से site पे कितने days के लिए use हुआ है, depending on number of days I will get the depreciation. ठीक है, and the depre rate is 15%. ठीक है, this machine can be used for any other projects as well. So इतना अगर यहाँ पे यूज हुआ है तो वो बैलेंस डेज में कहीं और यूज हुआ होगा. So I will take the proportionate daily depreciation. ठीक है. Prepare contract account for the two projects showing the notional profits for each year for 31st March 19. So as I said, ये क्वेश्चन में अपने को अपने एंड से कुछ भी फाइंड नहीं करना है. ऑल डिटेल्स आर गिवन टू अस. इट इज जस्ट अ क्वेश्चन ऑफ इनपुटिंग इन द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट का लेजर. द थिंग टू बी रिमेंबर्ड हियर इज द फैक्ट दैट लैंड परचेज फॉर ऑफिस will not enter the contract account. First thing, donation paid to clubs, we can assume either not contract based directly, so goes to costing P&L, or we can assume they are contract or the site based, in which case it will come to contract account. Frankly, खर्चा कितना है? 5,000 and 2,500. I can see expenses in 20 and 30 and 40 lakhs. So 2,500 के लिए we cannot exclude them in the contract. So it is better we take them in the contract account. But a note has to be written. Assume that donation for club is directly related to the site of the contract. ठीक है, and well that's it. And work certified is assumed at CP contract price, and work uncertified is assumed obviously at cost. ये भी सेफ्टी के लिख सकते, जस्ट टू शो ऑफ आवर नॉलेज कि अपने को पता है कि कॉन्ट्रैक्ट प्राइस का परसेंटेज इज वर्क सर्टिफाइड एंड अनसर्टिफाइड इज एट कॉस्ट. सो अपना वो शो ऑफ करने लिख सकते हैं अपन कि इट इज अज्यूम दैट वर्क सर्टिफाइड इज एट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट प्राइस एंड वर्क नॉट सर्टिफाइड इज एट कॉस्ट. एंड वेल दैट्स इट. अपने को सिर्फ इनपुट करना है ऑन द और इन द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अकाउंट, एंड बैलेंसिंग फिगर विल बी द नोशनल प्रॉफिट्स फॉर द रिस्पेक्टिव कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स. झाला? Hopefully yes. Let us quickly run through solution and see if there are any abnormalities, which I don't think there are. Opening WIP, as I said, will come from the details given to us. So opening opening WIP is nothing but last time's closing WIP. So it is always अब तक का कॉस्ट जो इनकम अपना हो चुका है. कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अकाउंट इज ऑलवेज प्रिपेयर्ड ऑन अ क्यूमुलेटिव बेसिस, सो आई विल ऑलवेज ब्रिंग द बैलेंसेस फ्रॉम द प्रीवियस ईयर to this year. That's my opening WIP. Materials purchase is 620 and 810. These numbers 620 and 810 I can see are directly given to us in the data. Then coming to land purchase, I'll ignore that. Wages paid, as I said, I will add the two things, paid plus outstanding. That's exactly what they have done. paid plus outstanding in my respective columns. Don't do mistake of posting HP1 wages to HP2 and so. Okay, so just correspond the correct things. Donations is 5 and 2.5. As I said, here the ICI has assumed that assuming donation was exclusively for the above projects and hence it is a part of contract. You all can assume otherwise, but if you see the खर्चा of 5 and 2,500 चिंदी है तो उसको डाल दो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में बिंदास, ठीक है. Then we've got planned hire charges, but it is said for 3 years. So अगर 3 साल का है तो 72/3 and 57/3, that is nothing but 24, that is 72 का 1/3, and 19, that is nothing but 57 का 1/3. My job is not to take the entire hire charges. 1 साल का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अकाउंट है तो I should take only 1 year's cost in the contract account. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट इज डेप्रीसिएशन. सो वो 100 दिन नहीं, 180 दिन यहाँ पे एंड 100 दिन वहाँ पे. सो 820 इज द कॉस्ट, 15% इज द रेट इंटू 180/365 एंड 820 15% इंटू 100/365. दैट इज द रेशियो इन विच, और दैट इज द प्रपोर्शन इन विच डेप्री शुड गो टू रिस्पेक्टिव कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स. यू हैव यूज द असेट फॉर मोर नंबर ऑफ डेज, you should take more number of depreciation cost or a higher depreciation cost. Then comes to my site materials. As I said, this 47 and that 52 can be knocked off from the gross materials cost and shown net, but it is preferable to show gross here and site ka costs there. WIP, as I said, work certified is given separately and work uncertified is given separately for HP1 and HP2. And well, after you do all these things, you are bound to get the balancing figure of notional profit, and that is the end of the question. देखते देखते notes में क्या दिया है? As I said, depreciation. Okay, depreciation is on the concrete mixture on the basis of number of days. That's pretty common sense. And land purchase and brokerage paid cannot be charged to contract, hence it is not included. They have simply said not, but the reason is not given. Reason is they are office based expenses, and office based expenses, they go to costing P&L unless the question has given us कि इसमें से एक proportion contract को जाएगा. Then in that case we'll apportion one portion, but if nothing is given, they are assumed to be not for the contract directly, so I will not take them in the contract ledger. Well, and that's it. और तो कुछ है नहीं मेरे ख्याल से, ठीक है. So अपना ये सेशन में, अपना इस सेशन में क्या क्या हो गया? अपना हो गया 6 7 नहीं 1 2 3 नहीं 1 2 3 was done in the previous session. 4 5 6 7 is done in this session, and now I will record it tomorrow. And आज के लिए बस इतना ही. So we will meet virtually, of course, in the next session. So 5 questions are left, I think. Question 8th is on process, 9th is on joint product, 10th is on service, 3 question हो गए. 11th is on variances, 4 हो गए. 12th is on marginal, 5, and 13th is on budgets, 6, and 14th is theory. Oh, so there are 6 questions left. So maybe in the next session I will take all the 6 together, or I'll break it into 3 plus 3. ठीक है. So one more session gone. I'll see you guys in the next session. So keep studying, stay home guys, stay safe. Tension है थोड़ा सा बाहर, so please don't venture out unless it is